Welcome to this first official episode of Meditation for Beginners, and in today's episode I'm going to give you some examples in order for you to understand what is mindfulness. If it's the first time you hear about it, or if you've never meditated before, this will help you a little bit to understand what exactly we are trying to accomplish here. Although accomplish would be probably a wrong word to use, but nonetheless, even if you've never meditated in your life before, there have been incidents, there have been situations in which you have experienced mindfulness unintentionally. So a common experience that this happens is repetitive activity, things you do frequently in your life, or you did frequently, that involve repetitive physical activity. So what happens during these experiences is that you are so focused in the activity that the whole sense of self, as you're used to it, at least as you're used to experiencing, vanishes, and the only thing that remains is the activity itself. So, for example, in my early teens, I used to run a lot. And even though I had no idea what mindfulness was back then, there were days where I was so focused in the experience of running, I was, so in the zone, as some people say, that the only thing that I was experiencing during those moments was the experience of running itself. So I didn't have any thoughts, no matter what problems I might have had in my life at that point, they didn't matter, because the only thing that I could experience at that moment was the sound of my footsteps running, the sensations of my chest expanding and letting the air out, the sense of metabolizing oxygen in some way. So all that was left was the physiological process of my body experiencing running. I'm sure that if any of you in here are runners or were runners, have experienced this. A whole another different type of experiences in which mindfulness occurs is very intense and sudden situations. One example is accidents, like for example car accidents. Those of you who've been in one might have realized that you responded, even if it was for a small amount of time, you responded really calmly. You were very present to this situation, and time even felt as if it slowed down. I again experienced this when I had my motorcycle accident, which cost me my leg. So what happened is I crashed with another vehicle and I flew for 25 meters, and during that flight I was extremely calm. Time felt really different, really a lot more slower. So what was probably like a 4-second flight felt like 15 seconds. And I had this sense of weightlessness which was so intense and so clear. I actually felt as if I was weightlessness itself. I was the sensation. I didn't feel any sense of self. These are two common types of experiences in which mindfulness happens unintentionally, accidentally. But what most people don't know or don't understand is that this state is not something that happens randomly or due to an accident or whatever. It's also something that is trainable, and it can be trainable to such an extent that you can instantly tap into it. So that was all. Leave a comment below and tell me what kind of experiences you had in your past where you unintentionally experienced mindfulness. Like the video, subscribe to this channel if you haven't subscribed yet, and until next time, keep on meditating. So much more than you could, is something that makes you feel that you've discovered a superpower. So a lot of people sit down and meditate for 15 minutes a day, and they just think that that's all it is. You just get to relax for 15 minutes a day. You maybe, as some scientific studies show, you get to lower your blood pressure, you get to improve your immune system and all that. But meditation is a lot more than that. Meditation for me especially is learning